Vale, vamos não. Kaya mi? Kaya.
जोशी जी। जोशी जी।
यस सर।
हाँ हाँ ठीक है, वायस आ रहा है ना। मैडम शायद जैन हो रही होगी।
यस।
question me. So I'm again starting with this. And after studying this unit, you all will be able to tell me the function and importance of all the micronutrients.
Wait for 2 minutes, huh? Madam will be joining.
Alaikum.
Yes, good afternoon, madam.
Yeah, so a very good afternoon, sir, and everybody. I hope everybody is doing well.
Yeah, madam. We will start the session with question and answer.
All
Yeah,
right.
fine, thanks.
Yeah, so I would be taking the first question before I actually start the session. It would be for 10 to 15 minutes. We'll take the question answer and then I shall start teaching. Yes, yes. Google, you can just ask your question, please.
Um, good evening, ma.
Yeah.
Ma, my question is about the direction of fiber.
Direction.
Yes, that you mentioned yesterday. Say that body cannot digest it.
Yeah. So we have
Yes,
not come to
I should
the,
please give me some details pertaining it.
yeah, but we have not come to the point of fiber
Ma,
as of now. We have not reached till the fiber as of now. In the macronutrients, we have come to the protein part. So fiber would be discussed in the coming sessions. Today we are discussing about proteins, then lipids, then a brief about minerals, vitamins, and fiber would be coming. Okay? Fiber would be discussed on next Saturday. Is that okay? Did you understand? Okay, next question, please. Next question, please. Yeah. Yes, Safari. Yeah, speaking. Yes, Safari, you can ask me.
Hello, ma.
Yes, yes. Ask me.
Hello, ma.
Yeah,
Good
hello.
evening, ma.
Good evening. Yes.
My question here is what are the roles of carbohydrate in human body?
What carbohydrate?
Roles of carbohydrate in
Menu
human
button submenu open context menu.
Yeah, what carbohydrate?
What are the roles does carbohydrate in human body?
Yeah, I think we discussed the functions of the carbohydrate. That after digestion, it yields us glucose. And glucose is very important because it's a primary fuel of the body. So that is the major reason that we all eat carbohydrate, which yields us 4 kilocalorie. And if we don't get glucose, then our blood sugar levels they go down. Then the organs can come into trouble. Whether it is our liver, whether it is our brain, kidney, all the organs say as BMR, which is also called as the basal metabolic rate. So basically, the organs they generally operate on what as primary fuel, which is called as glucose. So that is a major role that why anybody eat carbohydrate in the form of cereals or maybe eat in the form of vegetables or fruits or milk and milk products and dates powder, honey and so on. What next question,
Thank you
please?
very much.
Yes, please.
Ma, yes, ma. I'd like to ask because yesterday you said that carbohydrates should be up to 60% of the diet. So I would like to ask, if this holds true for diabetic patients, because we already know that they are facing high glucose level in their blood. So we will still keep 60% of carbohydrate in their diet.
No, no, I just completely don't understand why you all are against carbohydrates. It's major, if the lifestyle of the people is bad, or maybe people are not physically active, that is something that needs to be improved upon. We cannot do like this that we will be just asking people to avoid carbohydrate. That means you are going to ask people not to have fruits, not to have vegetables, because cereal is just not the carbohydrate, na. Carbohydrate are present anywhere and everywhere, and lot of the sources of carbohydrate they have got fiber, and not only that, they are also rich in minerals and vitamins. So if the lifestyle of the people is bad, we would be trying to correct that first. That is the first thing. Second is, if anybody suffers from the diabetic or something like that, that doesn't mean that the person has to stop consuming the carbohydrate, because it is all about the insulin functioning, what we need to correct. Not like that, that we need to attack on the diet that we won't give anything to a person. Because if you don't give glucose from the source of the fruits, vegetables, cereals, and pulses, then body shifts on the insulin.
Please close your mic.
Another what we call as the fats, that's what we say as the ketone bodies. So for some period of time it is okay that we are consuming ketone bodies and everything, but at the same point of time, do you know, when somebody is on the ketogenic kind of a diet, there are so many factors which are required. We need to check their liver first. We need to see whether the liver of that patient is healthy or not. Nowadays, everybody is talking about ketogenic diet, which is definitely not recommended for weight loss or anything. It's a therapeutic kind of a diet which is used for some different purpose. So, what I'm meaning to say, it's very simple to understand. I don't know why this question is erupting again and again. Carbs are basic fuel because they give us the glucose, and they are one of the macronutrients. We have to give them in the diet because fruits, vegetables, milk and milk products, all of them contain some or the other form of the carbohydrate. It is as simple as that. We also need to regulate the physical activity in some people. We cannot attack carbohydrate. We need to, work on the physical activity of the people, and we also need to work on the cereals and pulses combination what people are taking. That is something that you need to improve upon, that double the quantity of pulses and single quantity of cereal. This is how you
Please,
need to
Abdul
correct.
Majid. Abdul Majid,
But
off your mic, please.
this
Okay.
kind of a counseling or this kind of a thought process that carbs are bad or this or that, food is never bad. Please kindly understand. Food is never the reason for anybody's illnesses except food allergies and intolerances. Yes, food is a supportive therapy. Whenever something goes wrong, we cannot say that it is a food which is to be blamed. We need to use food as a supportive therapy, and we also need to counsel people to make changes in their lifestyle. What is happening? So it's my very strong message to all of you that we have just covered one macronutrient, which is carb. Let us understand proteins also today. We are doing every nutrient one by one. But cutting off the carbohydrate in some people diet just because of diabetes, weight loss, just like that, it is not the way it works. First of all, if at all you want to give a ketogenic diet, as somebody asked me this yesterday also, you need to understand the total pathophysiology of the utilization of the ketone bodies in the body, how it occurs. It's just not that we listen to one line or we come across one line and we feel that is how the nutrition has to be given. I again repeat over and over again, carbs are not bad. They are the macronutrients, they are the requirement of the body because they yield the glucose. And glucose is important for each and every cell, for its BMR, for its work to be done. Okay. So now shifting on the next one, what is called as the proteins. So whenever we say the word proteins, so the word proteins actually has come from the, I would like to say the terminology or the word, which is basically called as proteose. The meaning of the word proteose is first place. That is that nutrient which actually occupies the first place in the, I would like to say, in terms of the building block of the body. That means it is all about the proteins, which helps. Just one second. Yeah. So it is all about the proteins, which basically are called as the building blocks. We all know that we all require protein, whether we talk about hair protein, whether we talk about our nails, whether we talk about our skin, whether we talk about our glands, each and everything, they are made up of proteins. The proteins could be different types. It could be the protein which is doing the work of antibodies, that is giving you immunity. Even our enzymes, which are basically working day and night whenever you eat something for the digestion process, they are also made up of protein. And there are certain proteins which works as the messenger. When I say the word messenger, that means like a hormonal kind of a role. For example, growth hormone is there, insulin hormone is there. So many of them are there in the row when we talk about the hormonal. Similarly, we also have the proteins which are like actin and myosin, which are very, very important for making the structure of the body, right? So, whenever we speak about protein, protein is not complete until unless we speak about water. Because whenever protein is used to make something, to build up something in our body, it is the two components which are important to make up that structure. One is protein and the other is the water. So when I talk about muscles, muscles are 50% protein and 50% water. So I'm seeing that a lot of people, they will go to the gym, maybe just for 40 minutes or something, and they are not doing heavy weight training or heavy kind of the exercises, but still they would be, eating extra proteins. So please remember, even a single extra gram of protein is harmful for the liver and kidney. You should be planning and thinking about the protein with the two perspectives. One is the requirement, whether some person is, pregnant, lactation, a child where growth is required, or maybe a sports person where the physical activity is very high. They definitely require a higher percentage of protein as compared to anybody else. Like you have two adults, so one adult is like in the normal category of life, like 25, 26 years old, and the another adult, same age, but is undergoing the period like called as pregnancy, lactation, or maybe is a sports person. So at that point of time, rather than giving them 15% of the dietary pattern, like yesterday we discussed that whenever you are planning a diet for anybody, out of that, 50 to 60% would be contribution by the carbohydrates, and rest 15% today I am discussing would be done by the proteins. But if you find that some person has higher requirements, because that person is, one second please, that person has higher requirements, because that person is, I would like to say, a pregnant, lactation, or maybe into growth period, or maybe a sports person. So at that point of time, you can give them 20% rather than 15%. Now, there are other people who also have higher requirement of protein. Who are those people apart from this? They are those people who are undergoing some kind of a disease right now. Like, for example, they are suffering from high fever, typhoid, or maybe they have got some disease, which is related to muscle loss, or maybe there is some catabolic stage because of it, or maybe a sports person who requires more, but at the same point requires more for the recovery period as well. To these kind of people also you can give the higher protein. Now, if anybody comes to you and you want to plan their diet, unnecessarily don't give them higher protein, because now everybody is talking about high protein, this kind of a fundamental. So I am trying to say over here that even an extra single extra gram of protein could be harmful for the liver and kidney. We need to be very, very precise in the terms of the requirement, that what are the requirements what we are designing for our client. And while prescribing any higher protein, you should be regularly checking the liver health of your client or maybe for yourself. Why it is so? Because liver is the only organ where the metabolism of the proteins basically occur. So what happens is whenever you eat any protein, they are going to be converted to amino acids as an end product. These amino acids, when they come to your liver has got something which is called as amino acid pool, where liver would see that these are the amino acids which we have got from the diet, and these are the amino acids which I have to produce. So that is how these names, what we call as essential amino acid or non-essential amino acid, they have come into the picture. So when the amino acids are going to be there into the liver, so at that point of time, liver would be basically thinking, that how to use them, how to use these kind of amino acid, which we can be using it for the construction of the body, for the maintenance of the body. Like there are near about 500 naturally occurring amino acid, but only 20 are there which could be used by the human for its genetical coding. That is why whenever somebody asks us how many amino acids do you require, so they are total, which are called as 20. So out of them, there are nine which are essential, and the other are the non essential or maybe the conditionally essential. Non essential because liver can produce it by its own, and essential, why it is essential? Because your liver cannot produce it, so you need to take it from the diet. So whenever we are talking or maybe we are designing a diet plan for anybody, our basic, fundamental which should be kept in mind is that whenever we are designing the diet, we should be giving those sources in the diet of the person which contains the essential amino acid. Why? Because they cannot be produced by the liver, and the non-essentials are one which our liver may be able to produce. So this is the vertical which I am trying to say, that we should be totally concentrating on those sources. So when we talk about those sources, that what are those sources which would be containing the essential, amino acid, as you know that we all require zero point 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kg per day in case of adults. If it is a child, you would be seeing that child definitely requires more amount of protein because of the growing stage. That is why the children require 1.2 to 1.5 gram of protein per kg per day. And when we talk about any sports person, and in some condition, when we talk about any disease person, when it comes to disease person, we cannot say outrightly high protein. We need to take a proper consultation, we need to design properly. So when diseases part would be coming, at that point we would be discussing about it, but we need to take a proper kind of a decision that what amount of protein we need to give. So outrightly we can't say that if there is any patient we will give high protein, because we need to check the health of their liver as well as the health of their kidney. Because after metabolism of the amino acid, whatever the nitrogenous waste is produced, nitrogenous waste, what I'm meaning to say, urea, uric acid, we produce urea, uric acid every day, because urea is the end product of the amino acids breakdown, and uric acid is the end product of the nucleotides breakdown. Nucleotides, I mean to say the genetical material, DNA and RNA. As you all know, that our chromosomes contain the molecules of the DNA. So whenever they are metabolized, that is our genetical coding or maybe our genetical material. So whenever they are metabolized, uric acid is going to be produced. So to nitrogenous waste, they are quite acidic by nature. As per the name only, we know that urea and uric acid, they are quite acidic by nature. That is the reason that we basically want that they should be going out from our body, and for that we take the help of the kidneys. So liver basically communicates the kidney and give the nitrogenous waste, which is the end product of the protein's metabolism, to the kidney. And kidney, with the help of the water, which we also call as urine, it is going to flush it out. That is why it is so important that water has got one more importance over here, that it is not only required for the formation of the muscles, but at the same time, water is also required to flush out the nitrogenous waste. So when you drink less water, what happens is that there could be accumulation of the nitrogenous waste inside your body, due to which, again, I would like to say the pH of your blood can be changed, and you can have so many diseases which could be related to the bone health. So drinking water every day also has one more added on reason for you. Like every day, like yesterday also I told few reasons. Today I'm adding up one more reason, that is called as to flush out the nitrogenous waste. So, according to the protein requirement, that first we will see that there are various classifications of proteins. Like I have mentioned over here, you will find this in your books also, that they could be classified as on the structural basis, conjugated, simple, derived. I want all of you to read this in your books. This is very self-explanatory when you would be reading this in your books, okay? But the important point which I was discussing over here is that we can also classify the proteins according to their amino acid content, that is whether essential or whether non-essential. So non-essential are those, I would like to say, amino acid which your liver can produce by itself. We are not dependent on diet for it. But the essential are the one which the liver cannot produce. You are dependent on the diet. See, I have written also, which cannot be synthesized by the body. And it is very much important, required, that you should be essentially consuming it through the diet. Because if there is some kind of deficiency in the diet, then it could lead to breakdown of body's own protein. For example, on Monday you had good amount of proteins, and then your body used those amino acids and made so many structures in your body, your wear and tear was done. But for another 7 days you are not eating anything which is good in protein, then what is going to happen? Body is going to survive on its own store, which is not a very good sign, because when bodies survive on its own stores, we come into the catabolic state. Are you understanding this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Come into the catabolic kind of a state. Catabolic means surviving on your own stores. And catabolic state is also called as autophagic state. That means you are totally surviving on the body's store. And we basically expect that we should be using the proteins not only for build-up but also to recover for the wear and tear, right? Just 1 second, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. No, please, thank you so much. I'm busy in lecture. Please don't call me right now. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so what I was saying that if we are surviving on our own stores, that is, we built up the stores, and unfortunately now we are surviving on our own stores. That means in some passage of time, we would be noticing that this person, whether it is a child, whether it is a adult, they are basically losing the muscle mass day by day. And we all know that muscles are like a protection for our skeleton. Whatever skeletal we have, the protection is given by muscles, and the protection to the muscles is given by the fats, what we say as the fatty acids, which we would be discussing after the proteins. So this is how the cycle in the body goes. And we should be very considerate that proteins and the lipids, they have different role to play in the body. So let them be used in the body for the buildup, for that reasons. And when a person is surviving on its own store, then even the immunity would go low. Body would be working on the priority level, that this person is eating very less protein, so let me utilize this protein in just maintenance role. I cannot give growth, because for growth I should have good amount or good percentage. Or maybe the body can think that maybe I will compromise on hair protein, on the nail protein, because they are not very important. That is why people get hair fall. People fall very oftenly, they fall sick when they have less proteins in their body, because body then starts working on the priority would be wear and tear, maintenance in whatever the possible way it could be. So, whenever you are recommending the diet to any person, your whole focus should be on the amino acid concentration. Amino acid means these are the names of the amino acid, what you can see on the screen also. They are the one which are essential. So, you can remember their names, and it would be mentioned in your books also. But in which sources they are present, that I would like to highlight over here. That if I have to see the sources of the in the diet which contains all the essential amino acids, so their name are in this hierarchy also, only it is there. Their name is egg. Egg is not only the protein which contains all, or the food which contains all the essential amino acid. Rather, I would like to say egg is also used as a gold standard protein. Gold standard means that it is the standardized protein with which we can compare the protein content of the other sources. Like we say na, that this student comes first in class, and this is the standard student. According to this student percentage, we would be comparing what others are scoring in the class. So egg is like that kind of a student who basically has 100 out of 100 marks in the amount of essential amino acids content. That is why egg can also support the growth in the children. Egg is also used as a natural antibiotic because it also helps in improving the immunity. So one whole egg per day, whole egg means with yolk portion is recommended. But if somebody has high cholesterol issue, then we need to make some changes in their diet. But otherwise, egg protein is not only in the egg white, half of it is in the yolk portion. So at least one whole egg is recommended for every person, especially children. But if some adult is suffering from dyslipidemia or high cholesterol issue, then we can restrict their yolk for 2 to 3 months. But egg whites is something that we should be continuing. Similarly, the second type of protein which also scores good marks in the amino acid content, that too essential, it is the milk. Whether it is cow milk or whether it is buffalo milk, both stand out in terms of the amino acid content. That is also the probable reason that when some child is born, so a child can survive on milk for approximately 6 months. The child, the infant, what I'm trying to say, does not consume even water. The infant doesn't consume anything to eat, but still that infant basically survives on what? That infant survives on the mother milk, the best food for that infant. So second is milk, animal milk I'm talking, not plant milk over here, animal milk. The third rank what has been given to the good protein is the fish. Fish, especially the cold water fish, it not only contains good protein in terms of the lean mass, but also it also contains very good essential fatty acids. So these essential fatty acids, they are, one second please. So these essential fatty acids, they are not only good for your hair, skin, and nails, but they have a very excellent protection towards the heart, and they also have anti-inflammatory role. That is the reason fish, especially like salmon, especially like anchovies, mackerels, these kind of fishes, they should be preferred for the essential fatty acids. But any quality of fish, what you get in your region, they are very good as a source of the protein. So either for a child or maybe for an adult, fish should be preferred. But a $1 million question is that even if we take a very good source of protein, what type of cooking method we are applying, we are using, really matters a lot. There are certain people who are frying, lot of stuff. So by this, you are not only destroying the nutritive value, but also you are adding on many more calories which are not required, maybe on first, second, or third hand. So, what type of cooking method is done, that really changes the game? So while counseling people regarding the proteins, you should not only restrict yourself to the sources, you should also be talking to them about the cooking method what they are using. So first was egg, second is milk, animal milk, which I just spoke about. Similarly, on the animal milk part, if you are drinking whole milk every day, we all know that nowadays we don't have a very active lifestyle. So if we drink whole milk every day, that I'm getting protein out of it, so probably it would lead to health issues because of less physical activity. So whatever milk anybody is having in terms of animal, whether cow, buffalo, or maybe goat's milk, it is very important to remove the scum. Scum, I mean to say the cream part of the milk. So you have to boil it, and then after refrigeration, please remove the scum part of it. That is a cream part of it. And this is how you have to educate your clients as well, most importantly. And the third one, as I said, fish. So again, what type of cooking method you are applying really matters a lot. And last but not the least is flesh. Flesh could be anything. Flesh could be beef, flesh could be mutton, flesh could be chicken. Okay. But beef is the protein. Beef has got good amount of protein, but it is not very easy to digest the beef. That is why if we are eating, for example, 10 to 12 grams of protein from the beef, it has been seen in the researches that out of 10 to 12 grams, we are only able to get sometimes 60 or 65% of the protein out of it. Other could be wasted while the digestion process, because it is the kind of the muscle fibers which are there in the beef. It is sometimes little hard on digestion by the breakage by the HCl, or maybe by the pepsin. It is sometimes hard on digestion. So this is how the hierarchy follows, that first is egg, then is milk, then is the fish, and the last one what I discussed is called as the flesh. Now, the another concept that comes into picture is that I have told you that they are having very good amino acid content. But what about the digestion? So, as I discussed about the beef, I would also like to bring into notice of everybody that there are some slow digestible proteins, and then there are certain fast digestible or fast absorbable kind of protein. So when we talk about the proteins which are a little fast in or easy in on digestion, as well as a little fast in absorption, so there the marks are stored by milk proteins. That is why market is flooded with the milk supplements in terms of whey, casein. These are the one which you will see that they are majorly found in the market, and people usually use it, as in a kind of supplements as well, where we need to really check upon that do they really require such a high protein diet, or they are just consuming it out of the fashion because somebody else is also consuming it, and they have been asked by their gym trainer to have it. Because whether that gym trainer was educated or in nutrition or not, this is also something that has to be seen. Because lot of time people do very small 1 month certificate course or 2 month certificate course, and they start consulting people, which is absolutely wrong, because you cannot learn nutrition in 1 to 2 months just in that period of time. Okay. So as I said, so this is also one of the classification of the protein. So henceforth, whenever the client comes to you in terms of the protein, I would like to say the protein quality. Animal proteins, they stand out, like egg, then milk, then fish and flesh. But the second variety of protein, that is the vegetarian protein, what we also call as soya bean or maybe the plant protein, they are also very good quality protein, but somehow they lack one or the other of the essential amino acid. That is why whenever we are recommending somebody, the pulse, it is very important to give it in the combination with the cereal, like roti and I would like to say roti and dal, or maybe some kind of a pulse with the rice if somebody is eating. The major reason behind it is that pulses, they lack maybe one or the other kind of the amino acid. So if we club them up with either with the cereal, or else we club them up as a mutual kind of a supplementation with the egg or maybe fish flesh or maybe milk. For example, you took sprouts. So, with the sprouts, you can always recommend some bread to a person for the wholesome, the availability of the amino acid. Similarly, when you are recommending somebody fish, fish may not be fulfilling the appetite of your client. So, with the fish, you can recommend a small portion of rice or maybe small portion of the bread so as to give it as a wholesome meal. Or maybe it could be milk with the cornflakes or milk with some kind of a cereal. Again, it becomes a wholesome combination. So, whatever is the choice of your client, whether your client is a flesh eater or maybe overtarian or maybe a plant eater, or maybe a vegan. Nowadays, vegans are also there. So, you have to decide upon that which portion of the protein and which choice of the protein I need to give to my client. Because as I told you, that the whole diet, that quantity is there, even from which sources the protein would be provided, that has to be very, very carefully planned. Okay. And whenever you think about high protein, please ask this question whether it is really required to give high protein. Is my client into growing stage? Is my client a disease patient? Or is my client a sports person? Is it really required to give high protein? And plus, what is the health of the liver? What is the health of the kidney? So don't blindly give high protein, because in nutrition, one thing what we all need to understand, it is called as moderation. It is called as balance. Every nutrient is important, and anything what we go at an extreme level. Extreme level means high carbohydrate diet, low carbohydrate diet, high protein diet, low protein diet, high fats diet, low fats diet, anything what you are going as extreme beyond the RDA, when you go for it, until unless it is really required, they come with some amount of the consequences as well. So the more we remain balanced, the more we consume moderate, kind of a diet, so that would be very, very helpful in maintaining the homeostasis of the body. So, as I told you, that can we rely on our fruits, vegetables as a protein? So, the answer is no. Fruits and vegetables are just consumed for fiber, for vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. We do not consume fruits and vegetables thinking about the protein content. Okay. So, whenever we are taking fruits and vegetables, they should be enjoyed as a snack or maybe as an accompaniment with our other macros, for example, cereals, maybe with the pulse, but we cannot be dependent on them as a source of the protein. Okay. So, how much energy we get from the protein? It is 4 kilocalories, same as the carbohydrate. That is also one of the reason that when blood glucose goes low, body likes to shift on the proteins, because proteins have got carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. So, what liver is going to do? They will remove the nitrogen content, and carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. They could be used to give the ATP the way carbohydrates give. So, that is why I was saying this yesterday also, that we need to be very, very particular. We need to be very, very, I would like to say balanced in the mind while planning a diet for somebody. Because, if you are reducing something, maybe some other nutrient has to pay the cost of it. Or if you are increasing some nutrient by fold, some organ has to pay the cost of it if it was not required. Like if today I have got fever, if I'm suffering from typhoid, please give me high protein diet. But at the same time, the question is for how long I need to take it. Because I won't be suffering from typhoid forever in my life. Maybe for 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, month, 2 months, 3 months. But once I have recovered, fully, do I still need to follow the pattern of that same diet? So that is very important while counseling any person. High protein diet, low protein diet. The question, the counseling should be till when? For how long? Is it for lifelong or is it for some period of time? Because generally, on an average, every adult requires zero point 0.8 to 1 gram per kg of body weight per day. Okay, so as I have mentioned over here, if you can see that it is very much influenced by growing years, age factors, because protein is our foundation. And if somebody is suffering from any problems, for example, like sports person, they have very special requirements. Burns patient is there, HIV or cancer patient is there. So in short, they require high protein till the time they recover properly. But proteins are something which are handled by two organs. One of them is called as the liver, and the other is definitely called as the, I would like to say, kidney. So anything which is consumed as an extra, not required, like you have a very sedentary lifestyle, but still you are on a high protein diet, like a sports person. So that means your requirement is not very high. Then why you are eating like someone else? That means there is no gap identification in your body. Is it okay? Is it clear to
Exactly,
everyone?
ma'am.
Okay. So any question somebody wants to ask me over here?
Pertaining some nutrients of ma.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Um, you say that for someone that is doing sport, it needs amounts of protein. What percentage of protein do you need?
It's not about percentage. It's about per kg requirement. So the
Okay.
per kg requirement could be 2.1 to 2.3 grams also per kg per day. So you have to check their body weight, and accordingly you have to plan the diet for them. And when it comes to sports person, since I am a certified sports nutritionist, there are very very different levels. For it, different level of training is altogether required, like whether that person is into high intensity workout, whether that person is into the cardio endurance kind of a training, or whether that person is into anaerobic kind of training. So that's a separate topic altogether, which also requires at least 5 to 6 months of training. But in the basicality of the nutrition, I can just say that since there the wear and tear is more. That is why that for recovery they require more protein as compared to any other person. That is the reason to check their body weight, and according to their body weight per kg per day, that is how they require. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, ma. Thank you.
Yeah.
Emma, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I
My question is, what is the daily requirement of proteins in people that are not doing sport?
yeah, I
They
guess I
don't
told
they
that. 0.8 to 1 gram per kg per day. If your person is an adult and quite sedentary, then you will give zero point 0.8 gram only per kg per day. So
can you
whatever
come
is their
again,
body
please?
weight, you multiply that with zero point 0.8 grams and you will get the answer. So whatever their ideal body weight is, multiply it with zero point 0.8. Like for example, if my weight is 60 kg, I require 60 into zero point 0.8, it will come out to be about
Please, please,
48
we should be
grams.
closing our mic if you ask question. We should be closing our mic if you ask question.
Yeah, next question, please now.
Yes, ma'am, my question was,
Please, ma.
like
You
like yesterday you talked of carbohydrates, that when we you that is 60%
Yeah, so
of
I
the
told that
carbohydrates.
percentage that it is 15% in the normal adult cases. 15%.
It is 15%.
Yeah, 15 the dietary.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, please, ma. There is a part I didn't get well because of my connection. You said that normally we should take one whole egg for covering all our need in essential amino acid per day. So you complete saying that for people who are suffering from hypercholesterolemia, I mean, how much do they take actually?
Sorry, I didn't understand your question. Could you please type it because there is a lot of background disturbance.
Yes, those who I mean, are suffering from hypercholesterolemia,
Which cholesterol is high? LDL?
LDL, yes, LDL,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Uh, how many eggs can they take if they want to cover all
Yeah,
their needs?
so first I asked you a question. Do you know what is the amount of cholesterol in one yolk?
No.
Yeah. And do you know what is the cutoff of cholesterol per day?
One
No, 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 no,
1.2
not at
gram, I
all.
guess. No.
Cholesterol is a non-essential kind of a nutrient. So the cutoff for cholesterol, especially for Asian population, is 200 milligram per day. So when we see one egg yolk contains about approximately about 250 to 255 milligram of cholesterol, which is way beyond the requirement or the cutoff per day. So if your liver is healthy, you are not suffering from any dyslipidemic kind of a issue. That means cholesterol levels are okay. So for that, when the cholesterol levels are okay, that means what? You have checked it. So when it is okay, then that individual, any individual, you, me, can have one whole egg per day. So we need to be physically active as well. But if unfortunately we are suffering from dyslipidemia, so under the guidance of the dietitian or nutritionist, that means you people in the future, you can control their egg yolk maybe for 1 month or 2 months. And then again, you will check them that if their cholesterol issues have been improved with the help of their diet. So if it has been improved, then as an adult, we all can have, one yolk every alternate day. That means Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So 2 to 3 egg yolks in a week, but egg whites you can have 2 to 3 per day because egg whites don't have cholesterol. So yolk is important. Why? Because yolk has got not only the essential fatty acids, but minerals, vitamins. Yolk is a very, very nutritious, I would like to say, a food product. But the problem is it also contains very high level of cholesterol. And since nowadays people are not physically active, their lifestyle is very, very bad. So before recommending them egg yolk, sometimes we are conscious. Otherwise, whole egg is a very, very wonderful kind of a food. It is very important for the growth, for the recovery. But at the same time, as you asked me, if somebody has hypercholesteremia, where their LDL is very high, where their VLDL is very high, triglyceride levels are disturbed. So at that point of time, for 2 to 3 months, we can restrict the egg yolk, not the egg white. And again, we will do the checkup. If after 2 to 3 months, their cholesterol levels have little improved, then slowly and steadily we can include the egg yolk in their diet, like once in a week, then twice in a week, then not more than 2 to 3 times in a week. But if you are a sports person, if you are a child, then definitely you require one egg yolk every day. Okay? Is it clear to you now?
Yes, ma. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So today we have learned, okay, so Sufyan has asked me, let me read out the question. Uh, what's your advice on mixing animals and plant protein diet like eggs and beans, soya milk, fry? Okay, very good question. So my advice on this is that it's not about proteins. I feel it is all about including all the food groups in the best possible way whenever we are basically eating any major meal. Whenever I pick up any animal protein, the major thing in which, or the major nutrient in which that every animal protein is lacking is called as fiber. They do not have fiber content at all. But when I see a plant protein, this is the advantage what they can get over the animal protein. That if I'm eating soya protein, if I'm eating a pulse, if I'm eating a legume, if I'm eating a beans, like you have mentioned in the question, so they will have fiber apart from just having protein. But the animal protein has got Yeah, Bhupkar, please wait. Let me first complete this. Yeah. So, but the animal protein, when I see, they have an advantage that the essential amino acid content and the combination is excellent, which is missing in the plant protein, but they don't have fiber. So, when I give this kind of a combination, for example, eggs with a millet cereal, with a cereal which is also millet in nature, like ragi, like jowar, like buckwheat, like fox millet, or maybe with some other plant protein, for example, which is called as, I would like to say, beans. So this comes out to be a very, very excellent kind of a combination. Okay. Secondly, you also have to ask the preference in your client. What if your client does not want to consume animal protein? So at that point of time, you need to shift on the plant protein. So food is all about mixing the things together, and it is all about the mutual supplementation. That what is lacking in me, you can help me. It's like that. What is lacking in one food group could be covered by the another food group. Okay. So this was the answer to your question. The another question I can see. Did animal protein and plant protein a complete protein? I think you have asked me two separate questions, Abubkar, because animal protein contains all essential amino acids, so they are complete. In the plant protein, soybean is the one only which contains the essential amino acid in a good amount, but still, no plant protein can compete with the animal protein in terms of the combination of the essential amino acid. Okay, but all animal proteins lack fiber and they are high in cholesterol also. So, this is how we should be having a combination of animal and plant protein. It's not important to have animal protein in all the meals. We can have some kind of a egg or maybe chicken in the lunch, for example. So, in the dinner, you can have plant protein. Like from legumes, you can have protein. From soya bean, you can have protein. So, combination, that's what I am pestering again and again. Another question is, how can I measure the nutritive value of local food so that I can be sure? So, for measuring the nutritive value of the local food, I would be sharing a docket with all of you, which is also called as food composition tables. In there, any food product you are going to see, you would be finding their carb, protein, fats, vitamins, minerals, everything you would be finding it over there. So, it would give you a knowledge that which food to pick up and what it is going to give me. Okay. Next is when a person is suffering from any illness, that's when he or she should take food that contains a lot of protein. But after fully recovery, it should be limited. Uh, so, is it a question or you are discussing this with me? Because high protein means why? And if you have fully recovered, that means you have whatever the nutrients or whatever the muscle mass you lost when you were ill. Now you are okay. So, why now you are taking high protein? So you can shift to the normal protein level, which could be zero point 0.8 to 1 gram. But when you were ill, you may be taking double amount for some period of time so that you can recover well. But once you are okay, we need to get back to the normal status. I think it is Ibrahim Nasir who wants the number of somebody to discuss about today's lecture. All right, so that is between you as students. All right. Yes, Ibrahim, you want to say something? You have raised the hand also. Ibrahim, you want to say something? All right. So moving on, we are moving to the next kind of the nutrient, what we also call it as the lipids or maybe the fats. For a very long period of time, we have always heard some kind of criticism related to the lipids. That lot of people feel that fats are bad, they make you obese, this and that. But I would just like to say over here that we are talking about a nutrient. If you eat more amount of food or maybe that kind of a food which is processed and very high in fats and you are not at all physically active, then who is to be blamed? A food or maybe your lifestyle? Tell me, what is to be blamed? A food or your lifestyle?
The lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The first and the foremost thing. Yeah, so my the first and the foremost thing which I would like to tell you is please have a very positive kind of a mindset whenever we talk about food. Why it is important to have a very positive mindset? Because this is something for which we survive. This is something for which we do hard work every day. We cannot rank a food as a cause of somebody's disease or maybe a cause of somebody's ill health. Food is rather a remedy. Food is rather a important kind of, I would like to say, the need of the body to survive. Whenever we say basic necessities of life, food is one of them, apart from clothing and shelter, right? So we should have a very positive kind of a image towards the food. Whenever it comes to us, or maybe it comes to us in terms of consultation of some person, we should be talking to them so that we can find out what wrongdoings they are doing. Rather than saying that, this food is bad, that food is bad, and talking about not to eat this, not to eat that, we should be rather talking about what is the problem with their lifestyle, where they are going wrong, and second, about what to eat, and what to eat, rather than saying what not to eat. First, we should be telling to our client that what you should be eating. These are the things you should be eating, which I'm finding they are absent or maybe very less in your lifestyle. Like I found you are not eating fruits by your dietary record. Like, for example, if I'm coming to you for consultation, you would be asking me, na, what is my daily schedule? What do I eat every day? And when you will be knowing my daily schedule, at that point of time, you would be coming to know that what
Mom,
I'm
please turn
lacking.
off your audio. Please, Muhammad, turn off it, please.
Yeah. So, where I'm doing wrong, where I'm going wrong, what is lacking in my diet? A lot of dietitians have got this fundamental that they would be talking about what not to eat. But I always encourage my students to, talk to the clients what to eat first, and then telling that this is wrong in your diet, that I can see that you are eating a very high amount of fats or maybe fried food every day. But are you physically active? Are you burning them? Because fats are a storage nutrient. They are very important for insulating the organs. Their major job is not to give you energy. Their major job is basically to give you protection. They are between the muscle fibers to basically protect them from any kind of shock. They are a coating surrounding the organs to protect the organs also from some kind of a shock. For example, like when you feel cold, you wear clothes, some kind of a blanket or something. Why do we do that? We do that so that we can get some kind of a cushioning effect or maybe some kind of a insulation, some kind of a heat to our body. So just imagine that this body is like organ, and whatever the clothes you are wearing, they are like a coating of fat, which gives a protection. But what would happen if you are wearing six clothes above your body? You will feel suffocated. There, what the problem lies. The people are suffocating themselves by eating high caloric kind of a food. They are not physically active. They want to eat like anything. They read topics on the YouTube and then they will start making changes in their diet. Sometimes they will starve themselves, sometimes they will do fastings. So, due to which, what is happening? That there are a lot of problems that are occurring in their lifestyle. So, our major, correction and advice should be to tell them what is the healthy lifestyle rather than blaming any nutrient. I have seen, a lot of people, when it comes to giving the counseling and the consultation, they would be immediately blaming the fats. They would be saying that please do not have fats in your diet. Remove the oil, remove the animal fat from your diet. I always ask them a question. If there is no fat in the diet, what would happen about the fat soluble vitamins? Because fat soluble vitamins, They would only be absorbed in your body when you have, fats in your diet. But the major challenge lies in which quality fat. That is the first thing. Like in proteins, also, I discussed that essential amino acid sources should be preferred. So, similarly, the major challenge lies in which quality of fat, and definitely very important challenge, which is also called as the quantity of the fats. So, one thing which I would like to say, that the percentage of the fats in the diet should be 25%. Like for carbs, I said 50 to 60. For protein, I said 15 to 20. For fats, I am saying 25%, or it can go till 30 also. The reason is, one is that kind of a fat which is visible to you. Visible means which is a cooking oil or maybe a cooking animal fat which you use, and the another is the hidden fat, which is also called as invisible, which you would be finding in lot of the food sources. Food sources like cereals, like nuts, maybe pulses, milk and milk products. So they contain hidden amount of invisible fat in them. So while planning the diet, we need to be a little careful. Like, for example, if your client is eating peanuts or peanut powder in a recipe, or maybe coconut, fresh or dry, in a recipe, then you should be refraining to, or perhaps you should be asking them that please do not use any cooking oil, because already you are using peanuts and coconut in it. They already contain natural fat. Sorry, they already contain natural fat, so there is no requirement that you have to add more cooking oil or cooking medium. So these are the problems, what, or these are the kind of the actions which needs to be corrected. You can't tell to your client that please from tomorrow, why don't you eat boiled food, why don't you eat grilled food only. Do you really think life is possible on boiled and grilled food every day? For how many days you can follow this pattern? 7 days, 10 days? One day you would be frustrated and you would be shifting to fried food then. So, for the balance and for the moderation, every day, one meal you should be preferring in your client to be a little boiled or steamed or blanched. But the another two meals, the major meals, you should be allowing them to use a controlled quantity of the visible fat. And nuts, the portion of the invisible fat, what we say, they are the excellent sources of the essential fatty acids. So while seeing the fats, let's see over here. Although I can see the questions over here, that is, what happens when you eat excess protein? As I already mentioned, that liver and kidney can come into the trouble. There could be inflammation in them. There could be high level of nitrogenous waste in your blood, which can also affect your bone health. So the major side effects what one person can get is taxed liver, and the another could be stone formations in the kidney because of the high amount of the urea and uric acid, and the another could be what I would like to say, problems related to bone health, because to maintain the pH of the blood, then calcium, phosphorus, magnesium could be leached into the blood into that process. uh, Individuals blood groups has anything to do with when it comes to protein? Yes, there is a concept which is called as the blood group diet, and I am also a trained professional in that. But I don't think so this is a platform to discuss about the blood groups and the diet, because it's a separate training altogether. However, just to answer your question, the answer is yes. There are certain people who require not require, but I would like to say there are certain people who are able to handle and digest proteins better. Why? Because they belong to a hunter population, and that is how their blood group is also O. So when you have A blood group, B blood group, your digestion of proteins can matter. We never, bifurcate people in terms of the protein requirements according to blood group, because everybody has same organs and everybody requires the proteins for bare minimum development maintenance. But yes, when it comes to handling the proteins and digestion of proteins, so blood group can do anything with the digestion of proteins, not with the requirement of the proteins. Then the question is, why is it eating excess fat affects arterial blood flow in human body? Because fats are the one which are the storage component in our body. We do not eat, actually fats are not the principal nutrient to give you energy. Their major role is to give you insulation or cushion. So when somebody eats a diet which is very high in fat and you do not burn it as well, burn. It's very important to burn what you eat. Then only the body is into homeostasis. So nowadays the problem that is occurring is that people are eating very high amount of food, especially also rich in processed, high sugary, high sodium, high trans fats, and they are not burning at all. So due to which excessive of it finds a way inside the blood vessels of an human being, because otherwise also they are as a coating on above your organs. So when it is excess, they can enter into the blood vessels and they can coat it. And that is how the I would like to say one of the reasons for the heart attack could be atherosclerosis, that is hardening of the blood vessels due to the plaque formation. Okay, is it clear? All right, I hope it is clear. All right. So, as I was explaining over here, so let us have a little of look from the this one as well. Although, as I said, that please read your dockets. That is the DNHE, one which is given to you. That also covers first and the second block, which is majorly about the, the basic nutrients. But here I have tried to just a little uh, give a little gist about the nutrients, that the characteristics of the fats are they are generally greasy, they cannot mix in water. These are the role of fat in the body. They are very important as a fundamental. There are essential fats. Like when I compare to the man and women, there is a lot of gender difference also in terms of the amount of fat in the body, which is also called as the essential fat. Essential fat means the one which is surrounding the organ, and the another which is beneath the skin, which is between the muscle fibers. So, in total, a man has 2 to 12% of the fat in the body, and a woman has 12 to 24% of the fat in the body. Because women has extra tissues, for example, breast, women has got extra tissues, that is the more of the tissues surrounding her pelvic bone, because she has to sustain the childbirth. So that is how a woman has 12 to 24% of the fat in her body, a little higher as compared to the man. So if some woman comes to you who has 40% of fat inside the body, so our target is to bring it near to 24% or maybe a little lesser than that. So we have to understand that fat is very important as a major kind of a nutrient as a part of body composition, but it is a storage kind of a nutrient.
Yes, ma'am.
We eat fat so that we can store it. If you eat it more, that means it is going to, I would like to say it is going to suffocate your organs. Okay. So once it suffocates the organ, that is the role, or perhaps that is the stage when you would be finding that lot of problems are erupting in the human being. Got it?
I got it, ma'am. And my next question is that
CVT, like
why,
cardiovascular diseases or anything. Yes, please.
my next question is that why is the people with excessive fat, like obesity, they mostly like you find them with diabetes.
Sorry, I
The
can't
fat
hear
have
you properly. Can you type your question? Because lot of background noise is there. Could you type it in the chat box, please?
okay.
Yeah. So by the time you are typing, I would be just showing it over here that this is how, that whatever the roles I said, they are all mentioned over here,
Muhammad, please mute your mic, please.
that
Muhammad,
these are
mute
the
your mic.
role of fats in the body, and they are also very, very important for the absorption of the vitamins like A, D, E, and K. Although in the vitamins, I'm going to discuss about the role of A, D, E, and K. But
Please,
just
ma'am,
to,
use your mic. We are not understanding, but please.
Muhammad, can you please mute your mic?
yeah. Client come to you, as I said, he want to be fat, like may that individual is naturally slim, he won't get fat. So I would like to correct your question over here. When some individual comes to us to become fat, perhaps it is not fat, it is called as for weight gain. When some individual comes to us for weight gain because they are underweight, we need to overall check their body composition. What is their muscle mass? What is the fat percentage in their body? So we need to correct the overall percentage of the body composition. So we do not use the word fat. We say that the individual wants to gain the weight. So we need to improve their essential fatty acids, a balanced diet, good protein diet, and also one thing which is very, very clear is, as you said, that the person may be naturally slim. When you say the word slim, that means that the person has a narrow body frame. So as we see the body types, there are majorly three types of the body types which are existing. I would like to type that in the chat box so that everybody can note it down later, maybe not right now. So ectomorph, mesomorphs, and endomorphs. These are the three types of the body structure or the body stature that is existing in the world. All of us are the combination or maybe one of them. Like if you have a lean body frame, you are a ectomorph. You have a very lean body structure. You may be tall, but you look very, very lean to people. Your shoulders could be 12 or maybe 12 and a half types. Then there are mesomorphs, which have got a very athletic kind of a body. That is, they are naturally blessed with good amount of the muscle mass. Like if you see people belonging to US, New Zealand, or maybe Pakistan, you would be finding that they are naturally blessed with a very broad body kind of a structure. But when I see people, I have seen in most of you, either you are a combination of ectomorph, that is, few of you are with a lean body structure, and few of you are also a combination of ecto and meso, that is a very athletic kind of a body where you are blessed with a good muscle mass, especially on the subscapular area, that is a shoulder area. Then there are endomorphs. Endomorphs are those individuals which are little stocky in appearance. Stocky, I mean to say, they have very round kind of a body stature. They may have good muscle mass, but they also have very good amount of the or the good percentage of the adipose tissue, that is the fat mass. That means you will have a very high amount of fat, especially towards your thigh area, your gluteus area, what I'm meaning to say, and also towards your bumps area. So these are the three body types which exist in the universally in the world. So either you could be a combination. So just to answer your question, what you asked me, that if some ectomorph is coming to you who has a very lean body structure, that means that ectomorph want to become a mesomorph. So this is not possible until unless that ectomorphic patient, or sorry, a client, not a patient, until unless the ectomorphic client also opts for a physical activity or muscle strengthening. If you do not do muscle strengthening exercises, you cannot gain muscle mass. So, muscle protein synthesis is only possible when you do physical activity. So, to answer your question, it is not only just the diet, but also the muscle uh, strengthening exercises, which also have to be improved in order to uh, carry out the weight gain in an individual. The another is, why is it people with higher fat in the body are mostly at higher risk of diabetes? So the first thing is, higher fat means in a man it is more than 12%, and in the women it is more than 24%. So as I said, that fats are the one which gives the insulation, but too much of insulation can also give suffocation, and they can interfere with the body's function and the role. So, higher percentage of fat in the body can interfere with the insulin functioning, due to which an individual can suffer from insulin resistance. And that is how the problem which is related to diabetes, that is when your insulin is not able to function well, so then the glucose metabolism, the protein metabolism, the fat metabolism all can go into toss. So, a individual should always be aiming to maintain their waist to hip ratio, that is your waist circumference and hip circumference. If there you have got high accumulation of fat, then you develop the risk of diabetes, cardiovascular disorders, and in the female, I would also like to highlight PCOD, that is the problems related to the menstrual cycle. Then how do we know the exact percentage of fat? So for that, there is a machine which is called as body composition analyzer. I would like to write the name of that machine also. What you asked me, there are so many brands. We call it as BCA machine. You all can note it down, which means body composition analyzer machine. If you want, just let me show you. Are you able to see my screen? Is it visible to all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, ma'am.
So, can you see over here?
Yes, ma'am.
BCA machines. These are all the types of machines. I'm sure you all must have seen that. And they are available in the by different brands at different websites. Their cost could be from 5,000 or 3,000 in Indian rupees, I'm talking, till they can go till 5 lakhs or maybe 7 lakhs. So it totally depends what is the amount that you want to invest. Even a machine which is 3 to 5,000 in INR I meant to say over here in the Indian rupees, that would also give you the basic information which is related to the percentage of fat inside your body, or maybe the percentage of muscle inside your body, lean body mass, fat free mass, percentage of fat mass, everything. Because just you need to know your body weight. Your body weight also actually it would calculate. You need to know your height in the centimeters. You feed that in that machine, your age also, then you stand over that machine and you pull the handles. Like you can see in every machine there are some kind of a handles which are attached. So when you pull the handle and bring it closer to your chest cavity or chest area, it will scan you, you know. It is just like a very mild kind of a X-ray at a very low beam, um, electromagnetic waves which would be passing. And then it would be telling you the percentage of your fat, the percentage of your body water, minerals, everything what I said right now. So when you all are going to do your own practice, there is no harm that you invest on the body composition analyzer. It could be called as with different names. No, no, we don't need any sample. Only you are required. It is non-invasive process. You don't have to take some blood or maybe some buccal mucosa, nothing. You just have to stand on that machine and pull the handle. Just within 30 seconds, it will tell you all the information. Okay? Is it okay?
Yes, thank
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
ma. It's
Thank you.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. That is fine. Yeah. So
Yes, ma'am.
as I was just explaining over here that let me go back. Yeah. So these are the composition. So whenever we are distinguishing the fats, so basically the minimum, or I would like to say the storage part of fat inside the cells, it is called as triglyceride. And triglyceride is made up of this fatty acids and glycerol. So whenever you are eating any food which is rich in fat, after digestion, you will get fatty acids in your intestines. And the journey of the fatty acids would be happening that they would be coming inside your bloodstream. So the fatty acids are very unstable by nature and they cannot get dissolved in the blood. That is the reason they take the help of the glucose molecule, which is also called as the glycerol. And that is how they take their help, you know, and they get attached to it. And this is how, with the help of protein, protein is also the compound which is very much required for the fats to travel inside your body, which are actually called as triglycerides. So that is why HDL, we are very much interested to see in the blood of every individual when we do blood lipid profile, because HDL is high density lipoprotein. It is that lipoprotein which helps in the clearance of cholesterol and the so much of stuck up fats, or maybe high level of fats inside our body. Okay, that's why we also say HDL is the good cholesterol, because it helps in the clearance. So this is all the classification of the fatty acid. So you can see the classification. This is also found there in your books. The more bigger the chain of the fatty acid is, like 22 carbon, 24 carbon, more is the amount of the lipase. Lipase is the name of the enzyme which you require for basically breaking the fat. And then bile. Bile is the secretion which is done by the liver. So more is the length of the fatty acid, more amount of bile and more amount of lipase you require to basically break it down. That is also one of the reason the people, those who eat fried foods, they start producing more of the bile. I hope you all know that bile is nothing but a changed form of cholesterol. It is the cholesterol in the liver which gets converted to bile, you know, and bile is important for initiating the digestion of the fats. So, what I am meaning to tell you over here is that the people, those who eat lot of processed and the fried foods, their liver starts producing very high amount of the cholesterol. Are you understanding? So, more the amount of the fat you eat, more the processed and the trans fats you eat, more would be the production of the cholesterol in your liver, and you may suffer from problems like fatty liver. Okay. So, as you all know, that in the classification, it could also be animal fat or maybe the plant fat. So, in animal fat and the plant fat, there is one major, I would like to say, the differentiation. That differentiation is not even a single plant source. For example, nuts. Nuts, you get it from plants. Seeds and their oil, they do not contain cholesterol. And all the animals, even inclusive of fish. We all say that fish is good for health. Point well taken. There are no two doubts in it. But please don't be in this kind of a confusion that fish doesn't contain cholesterol, or maybe oyster, or maybe mackerels, or maybe crab, or maybe what else? What any other aquatic other food what you must be eating, that they do not contain cholesterol? No, any animal, whether aquatic or whether the flesh, what you are eating, they all contain cholesterol. However, beef contains the highest amount, then comes the mutton, then chicken, and fish and its other sources, that is aquatic, they contain the least when it comes to the animal. Okay, but they contain. But when we talk about the vegetarian sources, not even a single vegetarian source contains the cholesterol, but they contain the fatty acids. So, cholesterol looks like fats. It's not fat, but it is a derivative of fat. It looks like fat. So, the digestion of the cholesterol is very, very slow, or perhaps I would like to say that the metabolism of cholesterol is very, very poor. That is the reason that we need to be very vigilant when we are consuming any sources related to cholesterol, because it could be one of the contributing factor with so many other factors for the heart diseases. I am not trying to say that high cholesterol means heart attack. No, it's a very complex statement, because heart attack means very multifactorial kind of I would like to say reasons. You can't say that I had high cholesterol, so the person has died because of the heart attack because of this. No, no. But it is one of the contributing factor. Okay, that if I have not done homework today, so I can be upset, I cannot understand what is happening in the class, I may be lagging behind. So you are lagging behind in class just because you do not do the homework. That couldn't be one of the independent reason. Okay, maybe you are not understanding, maybe you are not liking the subject. So in the similar way, I'm trying to explain over here that heart attack is a very complex kind of a disease. So there could be so many factors involved in it. So stop thinking that only high cholesterol is responsible for, heart attack, because there is there are, what I'm meaning to say, there could be so many other factors which could be related to the heart attack. For example, if you are a smoker, for example, your cortisol levels, if they are very, very high because you take stress and you are not able to even handle the stress. That is what I have always said, that, everybody has stress, but how do you handle that really makes a difference. Or else, you do extreme kind of physical activity due to which your pericardium has got a little strain. This is the major reason of heart attack in the bodybuilders. A lot of bodybuilders are suffering from cardiac arrest nowadays. The major reason is the kind of a injury to their heart muscle and also to the protective layer, which is the pericardium, which is made up of the fatty acids. So here, what I am meaning to say in whole and soul, that we should never think that cholesterol is the only reason for heart attack. However, it could be one of the contributing reason. That is why it is very, very important to not to eat blindly anything which has got cholesterol. You need to be a little, I would like to say, um, careful. You need to be a little vigilant when you are eating any food related to cholesterol. And if you are suffering from dyslipidemia, then you should be restricting those foods for at least 1 to 2 months and then again go for your body checkups. If the improvement is there, then gradually you can introduce them, but not like that. Okay. So I can see the question over here, is cholesterol synonym with fatty acid? As I said earlier, it is a derivative of the fat. When you see the structure of the cholesterol, it is similar to the fats. That is less oxygen and more of carbon and hydrogen, like that. But I cannot say cholesterol is fat. Rather, cholesterol is very static in nature. Static means it doesn't flow at all. That is why also, if cholesterol gets stuck up at one place, it is very difficult to metabolize and remove them. So we cannot say that they are synonyms, but it is one of the derived lipids. But for your information, cholesterol is very important, and your body, each and every cell produces its own cholesterol. So there is no need to have cholesterol from outside. Why? Because your body produces, your each and every cell produces its own cholesterol, because cholesterol is a very important part of every cell membrane. Okay. So the major problem lies when individuals start eating mayo, start eating cheese, start eating so many other sources, of cholesterol and processed foods from outside, and very low fiber diet. So that is how the problem erupts. So in the absence of carb, can fat perform the function of carbohydrates? Well, as I said, that we eat carbs to get glucose. So in the absence of the carb to provide you glucose, your body would be using ketone bodies and muscles to give you glucose. So yes, fats and the ketone bodies, the way it gives, it could be useful to give you ATP. Okay. What is lipidemia? Lipid means fats, and mia means blood. So it means the level of the lipids in your blood. That is HDL, LDL, triglycerides, and VLDL. Okay. If there is any word where mia is written, MIA, I would write this down also for the understanding of everybody. If you read any word which is written mia, it means in blood. Okay. If you read any word which has got urea at the back of it, it means in the urine it is talking. If you read any word where it is written hepatic, it means liver. Any word where it is written renal, it means kidney. Any word where there is written lysis, it means breakdown, or also called as catabolic state. Any word where Genesis is written, it means anabolic, okay, or also means formation. These are the general medical dictionaries which would be helping you as a prefix or suffix to understand the terminology better. Okay, so lipid means the amount of the lipid profile inside your blood, and mia means in the, again, in the blood. That's what mia means. Okay, is it clear to everybody?
Yes, it's
Yes,
clear. It is
ma'am.
clear.
Yes, ma'am. It's clear.
So when you are going to study this, you would be finding that
Thank you, ma'am.
these are the sources, and this is a classification based on melting point.
Mr. Bello, please mute your
I'm
mic.
coming. After 10 minutes, I'm coming. Yeah. So this is a classification based on the chemical nature. We can have saturated fats, we can have unsaturated fats. Okay. So you must have heard about it that there are saturated fats, which means they do not have double bond. They are a little solid at the room temperature. And there are unsaturated fats which are having double bonds and they are little semi-solid or maybe liquid in the nature. And you require less heat to make them free flowing. But if you eat any fat like palm oil, which is a vegetarian fat, but still it has got the properties of being very solid in the nature, and you really require a lot of heat to basically break it down and to convert it into the liquid form. So it's a very clear fundamental which I always believe in, that obesity runs in the family because nobody runs in the family. That means people are not physically active and they are eating high amount of animal fats, they are eating high amount of processed foods which are solid in the room temperature. Like if you eat any bakery items, we generally use in them hydrogenated kind of the fat in it, which is basically very, very solid in nature. So to break it, a person has to be physically active. But just look at our lifestyles. We are not physically active. So when the fat is not being broken down and not being used as in for energy, then this excess fat could actually be lining the internal of the blood vessels. And that is how, people can have problems related to their heart or maybe related to so many other diseases. Similarly, on the base of nutritive value, we also differentiate them like proteins, essential fatty acids, and non essential fatty acids. Very easy to understand. Essential fatty acids are those which you cannot produce, they are essential via diet. Essential word has come in perspective of diet. And non essential are those, which are you can produce by yourself and they are not essential via diet. So before I move further, I would like to take the interest of all of you to one of this structure, okay? Are you all able to see this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Ye-
No, ma'am, we can't see anything.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to see this diagram?
I'm able to see your
Yes,
screen, ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. The,
Is it
the
not
one with
visible?
perspectives.
Shall I share again?
Yes, ma'am, please show it again. We can't see it.
Okay. Now is it visible?
No.
Now is it visible?
No, ma'am.
Very clear.
I think maybe I should join again.
Yeah, got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It is clear.
Okay.
Yes, yeah,
Why
good.
I'm showing this diagram, that what you see over here, which is looking something like a head and a thread, that is actually the way your cell membranes are made up of. Each and every cell and its membrane, whether it is a muscle cell, whether it is a adipose cell, that is the fat cell, what a general person say, it is actually called as adipose cell. They all are made up like this as a cell membrane. It's a microscopic structure view. Now, here, if you see, we require fats, as I was telling again and again, essential fat. They are very important for the composition. So this is how the composition is. They are going to be present in the part of every cell membrane, as in this kind of a structure, that is a head and the tail. Head structure and the tail. These two tails, if you see, one thing is they are bilayered. Bilayered means upper, it is like above also, and then it is like down as well. So these tail portion, it is the fatty acid layer, and the head portion is basically made up of the phosphorus. Phosphorus portion is the one which is water soluble or maybe water loving. And the tail portion is the one what we say as the fatty acid layer, which is water, I would like to say water resistant or what or hydrophobic kind of a layer. That is how every cell membrane is very intelligent to allow the nutrients to come inside with the help of the head, that is water soluble, to also allow the waste material to go outside, but not allowing the components of the cell to go outside, like mitochondria, nucleus, Golgi apparatus, what we find in the structure of the cell. So this tail portion, what I'm saying, one side is made up of essential fatty acid. So if you do not eat essential fatty acids from your diet, then you will really compromise on the structure of your cell membranes. There would be high level of wear and tear. You can also become very vulnerable for the injuries or maybe slow wound healing. Second is the second layer is made up of the uh, non-essential fatty acid, which your liver can synthesize. So today we are understanding that liver is such an important organ. Liver is the one which is synthesizing the non-essential amino acid. It is also synthesizing the essential, non-essential fatty acids also. So liver has such a principal role, and it is very important that our liver should be very, very healthy. So while making the cell membranes, you require phosphorus. We get it from our diet. But for making this tail, that is the two fatty acids, we require one essential fatty acid layer, which could be of DHA, EPA. You must have heard these names DHA, EPA, that is essential fatty acids, which you can get from the fish, which you can get from the walnuts, which you can get from the liver portion of any animal, right? And the another layer is made up of non-essential fatty acid, which could be synthesized by your liver. Okay, so this is the major reason that why do we require fats in what structure element. What I was saying, that we require for as a structure, as a coating towards the organ. So whenever you are counseling any of your client or maybe a patient or maybe you yourself, why do you need to have those sources of fats which are made up of, I would like to say, essential fats, because they are very important to give you good recovery. They are very important to lower CVD diseases. They are important for the brain functioning, for performance, stamina, also for speedy recovery, for good bones, for decreasing the risk of the infection. Rather, they would be making your immunity very strong. Also, in the female, to ease on the premenstrual syndrome, and also for beautiful skin, hair, as well as the nails. So if you come across a person who eats fish every day, it is very simple. They would be getting essential fats. But what if your client is pure vegetarian? So in that case, you need to counsel them for flax seeds. Do you all know what are flax seeds?
No, no, no,
No.
really.
Okay.
No,
Is my screen visible?
No,
No?
no, ma.
it, it is visible.
It's visible, ma.
Now is
It's
it
visible.
visible?
Okay.
Yes, ma.
Yes, madam. Yeah.
Uh-uh.
So have you noted down this name? What I said to you, flax seeds? You have to note down these names.
Flat seat,
You
ma.
know,
You see?
because wherever we belong to, whether we belong to India, whether we belong to Nigeria, whether we belong to US, if some sources are good for the health, we should be noting down its name, because it is not like that they are for Indian people or this is for Nigerian people. No, it is universal, and we should be eating good foodstuffs from every region, because if it is claimed they have good nutritive value. So please note down this name, flax seeds. Just see how do they look. They look like this. Maybe in your country it is called with some other name, but they look like this. The name is flax, and they are the excellent sources of essential fatty acid. It's very easy to take them in the diet. They are considered as plant excellent sources to which is very good to regulate cholesterol, which is excellent for the heart patients, for diabetic patients, for everybody, and also for those women who are suffering from PCOD's issues. They look like this. You can just take them, pop in them in the mouth. They have no particular taste. You can just pop in 5 to 10 grams, that is 2 spoons every day, just like that. One in the morning, other in the evening. Or else you can add them in various recipes, like you can soak them and you can grind them in the mixer, and you can have it with your bread or maybe whatever recipe you are eating. So it's very, very easy. I forgot to brush. Beta, Kairav, let me finish my class, beta, okay? Let me finish. I'm so sorry. So it is very easy to include them in the diet. You can also add them in your pulses, or else the simple way, as I said, just store them in a box, and in the morning and the evening, just pop one spoon, and that is how you enjoy the benefits. So the another which I wanted to tell the plant is walnuts. I hope everybody knows what is walnuts, but still I am showing them. So 5 to 6 florets every day. They are excellent for the health, especially in terms of the vegetarian sources of the uh, essential fatty acids. Apart from this, I would like to say over here soya bean and soya bean oil. Everybody knows soya bean?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Surely.
yes, yes,
Ma'am.
ma'am.
Soya bean is clear. Good.
Yes.
Yes, soya bean is
Yes,
clear.
yes.
Next is
Okay.
sesame
Yes, yes.
seeds. Are you able to see sesame seeds?
Yes, ma'am.
You can see they come in two
So,
No.
two colors. One is white and the another is black. Black is excellent source of iron as well, and white is excellent source of calcium apart from essential fatty acids. So you can have both of them in your diet or lifestyle every day. So how you need to do, you need to encourage your clients to have different type of seeds every day, like sesame seeds, like flax seeds, okay? And the another seeds are, for example, I will also write other seeds. Sunflower seeds. Are you able to see sunflower seeds?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the dehusked sunflower seeds, which looks like this. And then there are another seeds which are called as safflower. Is it visible? Safflower seeds?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So safflower seeds. Then there are another seeds which are called as chia seeds. Are you able to see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Kindly note down all these names. They are very easily available wherever we are sitting. They are available on different platforms. Okay. So kindly note it down so that now you can add them not in your own diet. Like you can add these seeds in the water, and then after some time you can just drink the water and also the seeds. It's important to eat these seeds. You do not have to only take their water. You have to eat these seeds, or maybe just pop in. They don't have any particular taste. You can just have it like that. So every day, at least 3 spoons of different seeds. One day, it could be chia, it could be sunflower, it could be safflower, it could be, I can
Sesame.
say, maybe sesame seeds, maybe flax seed, like that. So what I'm just meaning to say that you all can have different type of seeds because they are the excellent sources of essential fatty acid in terms of the plant sources. And in terms of the animal sources, as you all know, nothing can compete with the fish and the egg. Okay, these are the two which could be good sources, but fish stands out in the essential fatty acids. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so the list of names in the chat box as one has asked, so I'm writing safflower, sunflower, flax, chia, sesame. Okay, all right. Okay, so I wish to stop here. Now we shall meet next week. Okay, so so Joshi sir,
Please,
I would be
please,
stopping
ma'am.
here today.
Yes, could we have the recording of the session?
Yeah, yeah, it is getting recorded only. So sir can definitely share these recordings with you.
So, ma'am,
Thank you.
how about the attendance?
Attendance, I guess yesterday also he shared a link. In the LMS, you have to put it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
All right, ma'am.
because
Then,
these are my own notes. Basically, these are the part of my book which I have written by myself on the basic nutrition. So these are my own notes. So since in the recording session it is available, if still anybody wants it, I would be sharing it with you. But for first of all, it is very, very important that you all please read the study material which is given by the IGNU. It is a very
all
good
right,
study material. Please read it. And then in the coming sessions, when my sessions are ending, then we shall discuss and I can share it with you. Okay?
all right.
Okay, ma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much. So have a good day ahead. Bye bye. Take care of yourself. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye bye, ma. Thank you.
Bye.
Hello everyone.
All right. So, good day, classmates.
How was the class?
Okay.
I hope you guys
The
have
class
learned
is
very
very
well.
interesting.
Now we have to finish this material. Can we please take it outside?
No, I can't hear you.
Like, can we please take it outside?
We have to
Like,
create a group.
we
We have to create a group so that we can at least share some information to our colleagues.
like,
A
may I
group
know from where
WhatsApp
you
group.
are? May
Hello.
I know from where you
Calling
May
from
I know
hello.
from where you are coming from?
Hello.
Hello, I think may I know where you are coming from?
I have shared WhatsApp group that you can join so that you can make discussion, please.
Of course, I open on WhatsApp group, but I think you only have 20 people there. I have created
Oh,
the WhatsApp group.
this is only an internet.
You see?
Let me give you the
Hello.
number so that you can.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Please, I said I have already created a WhatsApp group, so you can join so that we can have a discussion over there.
Yes, we see you.
Yes, we have joined the group. I
Hello. Are you with me? Let me share the link for you.
Yeah, I can see. I can see.
Let me share the link. I have the link. I think
Okay, yes.
Muhammad, I see they sent two links. Which one should we join? They sent two links for the group. Which one should we join?